Resident Evil 3 is a pretty short game. There's no one denying that, as far as I know. But what people don't really talk about is how the beginning is really squandered. It's basically just like a cutscene that you kind of have a little control over here and there. It opens up here with this sort of nightmare Jill's having where she turns into a zombie. Pretty cool, actually. Like she has PTSD from the mansion incident. I think that's great. I would keep that for sure. Then she wakes up. She realizes she's not a zombie. Then you answer the phone and Nemesis bursts through the wall, obviously.
Is that
And
you?
from there, you don't really get to do too much. So what I'd like to do is go through
Let me grab my...
the game, or the opening, not the whole game, but the opening, and just point out spots where they really could increase the length of it by letting you actually control the game and play it, instead of just having a cutscene where you run from Nemesis, or blocking off the area just until you get to parking garage. I mean, this stuff is cool for sure. I keep some of this in there. You do want to run from Nemesis. Like this part, you're just running down a hallway. You control the character for like 3 seconds. I don't even know why you even need to control that. This all could just be one long cutscene. So Nemesis chases you. You get it.
What the fuck?
Alright, so you have your Nemesis chase, and then the game kind of starts where you control Jill for a longer period of time. And I think starting here, you should be ready to shoot zombies. I think the beginning would be a lot cooler if Jill has a handgun, Brad has a handgun, and the opening is kind of like Jill and Brad walking through the city, shooting zombies. Because if you think about it, they did so much work on this city, and you just walk through it. Like, they want you to follow Brad, so most people probably just follow Brad. They don't take the time to look around, but imagine if, you know, there was zombies here. You could put up a barricade, or Brad's putting up the barricade, okay? And then you're shooting the zombies, and then he finally gets it, and then you start going this way, and Jill will not walk. She's twisted her ankle or something. But look at all the details in here that you kind of just walk by. I mean, yes, you do look at them.
Hey, wait!
There could be zombies coming out of there, zombies over there. Survivors. This should be the spot where there are survivors. You're saving them. This is really cool touch, though. The Nemesis container.
This logo. I should have been...
Keep that for sure.
Something was in there.
Something was in there indeed. Maybe open up this a little bit so we can get on that sidewalk.
How could this many people be infected?
And then we can have this spot.
Brad! Here they come!
The zombies. I don't know if you want to have a giant horde of zombies in the beginning. I'm not sure exactly what you do there necessarily, but you can have something where you're actually playing it instead of just running away. And then they pretty much finished the inside of this bar.
Door behind you, go!
And you only see it in this cutscene. So that's a lot of wasted time, really. Unless they didn't finish
Don't think about it.
certain walls, because they knew you'd never see them.
Come on, Jill. We know how this ends.
No, I don't.
And then we kind of have this,
Always.
the Brad death here.
Up like I do. Go!
It looks like it's a fully finished area. I don't know.
I'm sorry, Brad.
Yeah, she won't go back in there. So now let's pretend that Jill and Brad actually talked in there about, well, what was Nemesis? Oh my god, the city's overrun. And you had a different type of cutscene in there instead of Brad dying. And Brad is still here. Let's pretend this is Brad. Alright, Brad. Let's go take on the zombies. And then you're running through the town with Brad still. Look at that. Beautiful sign. I mean, you could change this area a little bit. Have some dialogue. Some lore. Brad filling Jill in on what's been going on at the RPD. And you can even leave this guy, the helicopter man, telling you to get to the garage roof. And this could be your first save. Keep it the save room like it was in the original.
Hey, come on.
That up there was actually a room before, and you can get some handgun bullets and gunpowder, walk around. I mean, it looks like they finished this area pretty much. Just clean up the floor a little bit. Looks like the walls are all done. They're just blocking it off. It's basically a wasted area. They put some handgun bullets in there though. That's nice. So you could have some different scenes in there with Brad. That's a tough dog. And, you know, this is kind of just like, again, basically just a movie that you kind of control a little bit. They could open up this a little bit, or I'm even fine with this being just a straight path to the garage. And then, now let's say, can you kill this dude? No. Let's say the elevator is closed, or the power's out, or whatever. And you could go up the levels fighting zombies, or you can even just have, if you want to make the area a little shorter, or if you think the parking garage will be repetitive, I think you could have a couple floors in there with the parking garage. Have a cool little parking garage level. But if you don't want to do that, you can even still have the elevator. But now imagine if Brad is still alive. They're both in the elevator. This scene happens. Got the helicopter ready to take you to safety. And then these cars are kind of more spread out. Kind of like a maze where you could hide and shoot. Run around, hide and shoot. Imagine that, just imagine it. Brad's here, Jill's here, there's a maze of cars. There's a helicopter in the distance, and then what? Nemesis shoots it down. And now you have a boss fight with Nemesis. He only had one shot in that particular rocket launcher. He throws it to the side. Now you have a crazy fight with Nemesis. Brad is helping you. You're both shooting him, running in this maze of cars, using the cars as cover. And at the very end of the fight, after you've done a tremendous amount of Nemesis,
Damn it.
I'm like infatuated with this idea that Nemesis has like bulletproof armor on. That's what his trench coat is. After that fight is over, you've blown off a lot of his armor. Brad's like, I'm gonna do this, Jill, and Brad is in this car now. So Brad smashes into Nemesis. Jill's like, no, Brad. He dives off the side, smashes Nemesis with the car, and then Brad's dead. 'Cause he wouldn't survive this. She didn't even have the seatbelt on. She's so dead. But then have Nemesis stay down. So Nemesis is down. Jill thinks that Brad is, well, Brad is dead. Okay, we know Brad is dead. She goes down there. She knows Brad is dead, and she thinks Nemesis is dead too. Nemesis is just lying on the ground at the time. And then you could have her meet Carlos down there and continue on with normal. And you wouldn't really have to add too much to the game. These levels are already pretty much made. You might have to change around some cutscenes, get some different dialogue, but There's so much in that first area that they could have did to
Easy, lady. I got you.
lengthen the game, because in the original, like I said, you played through all that. That was all gameplay, not a cutscene. And then you kind of start off like you miss. I don't know exactly how long it was. It's somewhere between an eighth and a fifth of the game is just what they cut out there before you get to the train car. Maybe not. I don't know. I beat the original game in 40 minutes once, so hard to say.
We're in the clear.
But for sure, I mean, you could tell all the extra stuff they could have did there. I think it would be amazing if they left Brad alive and you had that Nemesis boss fight at the top.
Hey, what do you know about that monster?
Jill and Brad were just blasting the crap out of him. His armor's kind of flying off as they keep shooting him. And then Brad is the one who gets in the car and rams Nemesis off the side. And then you kind of have this space for a while where you don't see Nemesis. And then he pops up again for the first time and you're like, oh my god. Except I knew that was going to happen because I played the original. But oh my god anyways, it's amazing. I don't know, just a lot there I felt they squandered that I really wish they would change. I almost want a Resident Evil 3 remake. Can we get a remake? Yeah, this is Moose Torrent, and I'll be back with another video for you guys shortly.